Hey there, this is Daryl again, and it's been a long time since I tied a fly. I've been kind of out there doing a little fishing. Hope you've enjoyed my misadventures in that area. Um, but we're going to get back to trying to do some tying here. I'm going to be tying up a Lefty's Deceiver. This is what it normally looks like, but that's not the one we're going to tie. We're going to be tying one on a size 2 hook, but we're going to be using some modern day materials. So we're going to be using some faux bucktail and some Fluoro fibers for the throat and putting some eyes on there instead of maybe painting them on. So let's get a look at one of them, what that looks like, and hopefully maybe you'll give this faux bucktail, this fake bucktail, a try, and I'll find out how well it fishes as well. All right, let's take a look at it. Well, this here's a modern day version of Lefty's Deceiver. In there, we're using that fake fur or fake bucktail, and using that Fluoro fibers right here. And let's get tying. The hook that I'm going to use is a Mustad S71 SNP DT. It's a 2 extra heavy, 1 extra long, in a size 2. And of course, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to debarb. Debarb the hook, so it's easier to get it out of me or my fishing buddy, or maybe even out of the fish, so that he can live a little longer. The thread I'm going to use is a 140 Chartreuse, and we're just going to start this about an eye width behind the eye of the hook. And I'll explain the other materials as I go along. And maybe also I'll explain some possibilities for other materials. Kind of like put up a little bump here to help tie in that feathers. But I'm going to use, you could use some strong or strung streamers, but I'm going to use some Deceiver streamer patch in white in here. And for this size 2 hook, I'm finding that the feathers around down in here are just as good, or the length anyway. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of look for a matching pair on one side, and I'm going to take 2. You can use up to I'm going to use 4 feathers, 2 on each side, and or you can use up to 6, or some people I've seen will actually tie those in with 1. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the curves on 2 of these match up the curves this way. And then I'm going to take a bad feather. You can see that little V there, like it lost the tip. I'm just going to put that on the inside. And then I'll take the other feather that married with that, making sure that the concave is going in. Kind of like that there. And see, you really don't notice that there. And I'm going to go 3 times the length of the hook shank. 3. And I'll kind of take and strip some of these things off. But I could do it one at a time, but I'm going to be lazy. Kind of wet that there. And put that right up here. Lean it towards me a little bit so it ends up on top of the hook. And you can see that looks pretty good right there. I'm happy with that. Lock that down a little bit. Snip these fibers away so it's at an angle. And the next material I'm going to use is some pearl crystal flash, about 3 fibers. Or maybe 4. I'm just going to pull one out. And then I'm going to wet this down. And put that under there, and I'm going to kind of divide this in half. Three on one side, 3 on the other. And I'm going to want these to be either just short or equal. Equal in the streamer length. Next I'm going to do is I'm going to take some pearl Flashabou extra limp. You could maybe use medium, but I couldn't find any of that in my supplies, so I'm using extra limp. And about 3 fibers. And I'm going to wet that down to keep it about managed. And those are almost right there. I'm just going to go take those a little bit longer. Get rid of that. And then I'll start with some white. What's great about this stuff, you don't have to stack it if you like your tips to be even. You don't have to put it in a hair stacker because they're going to come out even. So what we're going to want to do is the ends of that we want to be about halfway. So maybe right in here. And then I'm going to trim off this. Tip this up. I'm going to put this one on this side. And then I'm going to kind of twist that around. So you can see that it's about halfway around. And I'm going to take about the same amount. I'm not counting. You could probably count these if you want. And measure these to be about the same length. Tie those on the other side of the hook. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take some Chartreuse fake bucktail. And we want this one to be just a little bit shorter. And it'll be on top. By the way, I'm using a serrated craft type scissors, so I don't use up my, damage my good scissors. Do the same thing, kind of push it around a little bit. Build up this head, trying to get that thread up over. And we're almost done with the tying part. Next, we'll take a little pinch of Fluoro fibers for a throat. The throat's kind of optional. The original one didn't have it, but you know, it could be like at a tractor or a hot spot. And we're going to cut this so it's about the length to the point of the hook. Build up a head. Chartreuse head. Then we'll go ahead and build up the head here, and we're going to glue some eyes on. And I'm going to use some 5mm living eyes in fire. But before I glue them on, I'm going to try to make kind of a flat spot. So that the eyes can be a little bit flatter. I might have to break the super glue out. You know, I'm trying to get it where my fingers aren't always stuck. Put a little bit of UV up here. A little bit on the bottom. All right, a little bit on the eye, and I'll take a needle. And there we have it, a modern day Lefty Kreh deceiver using Faux Bucktail instead of the real thing. Hopefully it'll catch me some fish. Alright, we'll see you in a little bit. Alright, hope you give these things a try. Buying some of this Faux Bucktail from Flymen Fishing, Fish Skull, and give it a try. You know, there's nothing wrong with ordinary bucktail, but sometimes you can't get it in the length that you need. Some of the tails are bad. These here are roughly about 6 inches in length. Yeah, 6 inches in length. And, you know, for some of those flies that you need to go a little bit longer, your bucktail's not the quality that you want it, I'd give this a try. Alright, we'll see you on the water, and hopefully that monster gator trout will take one of these for me here, I don't know, sometime this winter. Alright, we'll see you on the water.